In today's video, every lap the slowest drivers get eliminated. Starting with a full grid of cars, by the last lap, only 2 drivers will remain and only 1 can win. In this limited return of the elimination mode, now featuring the F1 cars for the first time on F1 24, can we get a win? Let's find out. It's good to see on its return to the game, the elimination mode is once again, like with the F2 version, struggling to find me players to play against. I mean, to be fair, I can't blame anyone for not playing F1 24 at this point in the game cycle. At least the last time elimination mode was a thing, we had these shiny new fun F2 cars rather than the default F1 car. Eventually though, thankfully, after some backing out and loading back in, we did find a full lobby of 20 cars to race against as we go to lights out, and we're on the way for this Japanese Grand Prix elimination race, and it gets very, very sketchy off the line. This is all about survival in the first few laps. You don't want to get knocked about, knocked off circuit, spun out as we nearly just did there. Well held from us. Look at the chaos. There's so many cars ghosted and we nearly got spun round, but we managed to survive. But we get round the outside of an incredibly slow AI car actually. So actually, I tell a lie, it wasn't a full lobby. Maybe 19 out of 20 were real players, but now we made swift work of that guy. We're up into the top 5, but we've got 4 people ahead of us to try and overtake before the top right gets to our name tag, of course, as someone's off on the gravel, slowing everyone up, bunching up P2 to 3 to 4 as we go side by side. A little bit of ping pong there. We almost have a disaster. Oh, Lord. Oh, God. P3 is going to be fuming because whoever's in P2 just took him out at the hairpin and has allowed myself and Sportiva to go through. Right now we've got, I'm not going to try and pronounce that name, Shuzloni in P1. He's got a bit of a gap, 1.6, so we need to make very quick work of Sportiva here and then get a move on if we want to try and win this. This would be quite something to win the very first race in this video. We're going to try our best, of course, as we have to try and overtake P2, who's doing well to be a bit defensive, but he goes deep there, and we go for this switchback from right to left, tighten up the line, get on power early, overuse the battery a little bit because I knew it was crucial to get this move done, even if it meant overusing the battery a bit more, knowing that in Sector 1, that's the perfect place to then put down the ERS into none, save a load, and also personally, I think Sector 1 is one of my stronger sectors around Suzuka, at least versus other players when I've ever played online with the, like, you know, the handful of times I play this game online, pretty much for when little limited time events like this pop up, pretty much the only time I feel like it's worthwhile playing the F1 games online, in my personal opinion, as we now look to try and chase after P1. He actually got away from us a little bit, 2.1 the gap's grown to, but like I said, we are strong through Sector 1, and immediately we delete 3/10 almost off the gap. We're going to continue to close up, and look at the yellow bar down in the bottom middle. We've saved a lot of battery, and now we'll be able to use that in Sector 2 and Sector 3, but we continue to try and chip away at the gap from 2.2 down to 1.8 now, maybe 1.7 by the time we get towards the hairpin. Yes, so we have now brought it down by half a second. So at this rate, we will be right with him, going for the win potentially in maybe about 3 laps time, but maybe the time might run out till then. Well, you know what will actually happen is the internet connection apparently will run out. Random migration host. It says the session's going to restart, but you just know it's just not going to, is it? And that's ruined that. Thank you very much, EA F1 servers, for ruining that chase. I feel like we were on for a classic under pressure moment at the end of that one between myself and whoever was leading that one. We move on then, still in the search of a victory. We're now at Monza, which is cataclysmic anyway online, let alone when there's an elimination looming. So I feel like people are going to be uber aggressive around here. We've also got a heavily AI filled grid here, so quite a few slow drivers, and apparently an illegal overtake there, just avoiding a car around the outside. Okay, into turn 1, I was prepared for the worst. Actually, to my surprise, was a pretty clean turn 1 and 2 for at least myself. Someone was off on the gravel ahead, and we're going to make quick work of overtaking these slower AI cars as we all try and filter out to the real players at the top. You can see someone already has a huge margin in P1, so a big dive bomb for me to get up into P4. That was a crucial, I think, triple overtake to get up into P4 because P1 has now been caught and we are within range. So this is the top 4 and we need to keep it like this. If we fall too far, just like in career mode, you will not be able to gain back, especially with this default F1 car. The battery drains like anything, so we need to keep within the toe of whoever's in the lead, and we've done just that. We've actually gone down the inside for P2 there at Parabolica. A very nice overtake as they were too busy squabbling and going wide with each other as we now tuck in for this slipstream. Gambry leading the way right now at the moment in the very lovely, actually, Miami livery, I think that is, for the V-Carb, as we now look for this switch, though. He goes deep, and that's a textbook little switch. Really nice stuff. Patience paying out for us as we're now into the lead of this race. But as you well know, being in the lead at Monza, let alone in elimination mode, is the worst thing possible, and we are going to get overtaken. But this is about trying to, almost in a way, work with the cars around us, you know, an unspoken sort of respect, team camaraderie of knowing, look, we're 1-2 right now. Let's keep it this way, okay? As, well, he clearly doesn't want to play ball there as he brake checked me into the brake zone. It actually goes deep into Parabolica. I think that's what you'll find. That is karma, my friend. That is karma. Please, I'm trying to be respectful with you. Let's work together, Finn, okay? Because we need to keep a 1 second gap to P3. We need to get him eliminated, and then it's just me and you. Then we can actually have a little bit of a fight and a squabble. So you can see there, I don't put up much of a fight. I don't try and brake check him in the same way he did to me very briefly at the end of the last lap, because that man in P3 is looking a bit dodgy. He was over a second away. I don't know how he managed to catch us up like that. I think a massive corner cut was involved as we now continue just to kind of swap, and this time Finn plays ball with us. He is respectful. He gives us the room. I think he's clued on to the tactics here of how you stay in the game to win an elimination mode race, especially one like this at Monza where it is just a slipstream fest. You know, other circuits it's a bit different. It's more about how quick you are on the corners. This is all about just kind of playing the game, and this is the game to a T. Is I could have definitely overtaken him there, but we just let off throttle, stuck right behind him. You can see his red light was flashing, so he was also choosing to harvest there. So Finn is also now playing the game well of keeping enough battery in check to try and defend against me. At this point now, we're down to 6 drivers, so only 6 remaining. We are getting into the business end as we go into P1. Not really where you want to be going into these last few phases, but I knew there's going to be one more rotation of the circuit where he will overtake us. And as we're down to 3 drivers now, we well might be the chasing man in the final 2. We're side by side into turn 1. I thought actually about maybe keeping the lead here, but Finn got very aggressive there. I think he's realized this is the time to go aggressive. This is the time to stop the respect between us, because now the gloves are off as we get down to the final few seconds. It is now just 2 drivers remaining, myself and Finn, both of us in variants of a McLaren. And can we come out on top? We're in the red now. Our name is in the red. We're 20 seconds away from being eliminated. We thought about going down the inside there, but I just couldn't risk being spun off as Finn could close the door. He tries to brake check us a little bit. We've got DRS. We've got plenty of battery. Can we pull this off as the timer comes down to the final seconds? Can we do it? Oh, it's so close. And who's won it? Oh, GG's, Finn. That was actually an incredible finish. We must have lost that by like a pixel. That's unreal. Look how close this is. At 0-0, timer off. That's how close we were. That's literally, what, 5 millimeters maybe on the front wing. Incredibly close finish there. Firm handshakes with Finn, but That's not the win. That's not the win. This video cannot end. And so we go on to a third race in this one. Now, at the British Grand Prix, hoping the home magic can pay out for us. I mean, we've definitely got lucky with the starting position, P2. That's a big part of elimination mode, I feel, Otto, by the way, is your starting position. You can get absolutely screwed if you're right at the back. So this time, the F1 gods, they've really looked down upon us. They saw the last race. They saw how close we were to that sweet, sweet victory. So now, this is all set up for me. Surely, we have got to try and get that elusive win today in elimination mode on the return with the Formula 1 cars on this game for the first time as we now try and jockey from right to left at Village. We would have got taken wide if we actually kept it on the outside there. So I'm actually glad we backed out of that as P1 Jan looking a bit feisty. So we need to be a little bit careful and cautious that he may try and take us wide if we go for the overtake again. But he's actually going to take himself wide at Luffield. We're going to get on power very early compared to him. Just a small amount of battery use and we're up into first place. And unlike Monza, you know, this is a place where if we get our head down, we can get that gap going and we can look to control the race from the lead. It won't be a case of having to work with whoever's behind me to try and slipstream, because look at the mini-map also. P3 down to about P7. They're all locked into a massive battle.
I'm gone. I've legged it. I'm gone.
We extend our lead to 2.4 as we get onto the third lap. 14 drivers still in it. Alejandro now up into second, and he seems to be fairly fast because he's on a purple lap time now, looking to bridge the gap. He's bringing two other drivers with him. So that was the concern here, but we just look to continue to be consistent as possible. Even though Alejandro brings down the gap to 1.7, it's all about not panicking, because look how close we are now. 5 drivers left in it. So we just continue to put in these clean, consistent laps as long as we don't make a mistake where we lose half a second plus in one corner. This is fine, because also now as we get to crunch time, those guys right behind me, look at that, 4 drivers left. So the 3 drivers on the mini-map right behind me, they're now fighting for their elimination. The last man in that train will get eliminated in 16 seconds. So desperation's going to come in. I mean, he's already lost his head because he's quite far away from P3 and P2. But P2 and P3, they're going to be sweating now because P4 is about to get eliminated. And now it's all about if William H., who's set a purple himself, can he get himself out of the red zone? Can he overtake Alejandro before that timer goes down? And, you know, I know how it feels. I've been in that position before. The nerves really start to sweat because you're just panicking about, I need to make an overtake at some point. Whereas for me, we could just chill out, just focus on ourselves. 1.7 the gap, that's fine. And now, as we wait for the last couple of seconds, it's going to be P3 eliminated. And this is it now. Myself versus Alejandro. But we have got a 1.9 gap. Did we get incredibly lucky with the starting grid position? Yes, P2 was very favourable for us. But you can see the drivers behind me were technically a bit quicker, and it was about keeping our wits, not buckling and bottling under pressure. And after the race we had at Monza, I feel like we deserved a little bit of a gimme maybe to finally get this win, because we were millimetres away from getting our Titanic one at Monza. But we secure it here at Silverstone. We win elimination mode in the Formula 1 cars on its return. Always a fun game mode. I think definitely the best one they've done so far, you know, in terms of these limited time events on F1 World. Always gets me back on the game to play a little bit of online to try and get one win at least. And guys, if you have enjoyed this one, then be sure to hit that like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're around here, then do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.